Get ready for the news that is shaking the financial world. Anthropic is about to brief the Financial Stability Board on the serious cyber weaknesses discovered in its Claude Mythos model. This powerful cybersecurity version of Claude has scanned global financial systems and uncovered thousands of high-severity bugs across major operating systems and web browsers. Regulators are demanding answers, and we dive into exactly what these vulnerabilities mean for the banking sector right now. Monetary Fund warns that advanced AI models could dramatically speed up vulnerability exploitation, putting pressure on global regulators. Finally, we break down the intense regulatory spotlight on Claude Mythos. Find out why leading finance ministries and central banks are demanding these briefings, and what this means for how every regulated operator must plan for third-party AI risk. Don't miss this deep dive into the future of AI security and finance. Stay with us. Anthropic is preparing to brief the Financial Stability Board, a coalition of top finance ministries, regulators, and central banks from G20 economies, on critical cybersecurity weaknesses discovered in its new Claude Mythos model that impact global financial systems. The request follows a warning from Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey, who chairs the FSB, who cautioned that Mythos could pose major security risks to the banking sector reliant on aging technology. Claude Mythos is a specialized cybersecurity AI designed to scan software, operating systems, and infrastructure for vulnerabilities. Anthropic reports that the Mythos preview version has already identified thousands of high-severity bugs across major operating systems and web browsers. Notably, some of the vulnerabilities uncovered are decades old, dating back 27 years and previously undetected by developers or watchdogs. Cyber experts suggest this demonstrates frontier AI's capability to surpass human capacity in identifying and exploiting flaws, particularly in complex, legacy systems that banks continue to utilize. Concerns have intensified following reports indicating that Mythos Preview can autonomously discover and exploit weaknesses in small, poorly defended networks during controlled lab tests, achieving advanced cyberattack objectives in a fraction of the time required by human professionals. This has prompted significant regulatory interest. Finance ministers and central bank chiefs are demanding that Anthropic provide a detailed mapping of the current attack surface for banks and payment networks, along with clear strategies for hardening core systems before the model becomes more widely deployed. Regulators view Claude Mythos as both a powerful defensive asset and a potential offensive weapon. In response, U.S. and Indian officials have called emergency meetings with bank leaders, urging them to test critical systems against threats modeled after Mythos. The involvement of the FSB underscores the urgency for Anthropic to articulate a risk management framework that balances the need to secure vital infrastructure with the advancement of AI security research. Separately, Anthropic is investigating claims of unauthorized access to Mythos via a third-party vendor, and has limited broad access to about 40 organizations through a restricted program called Project Glasswing. Anthropic has significantly targeted the financial services sector with the release of 10 ready-to-run AI agent templates for Claude, aiming to rapidly automate time-consuming tasks. These templates are designed to deploy sophisticated AI tools quickly, covering critical functions such as building pitch books, screening Know Your Customer, KYC files, and executing month-end closing procedures. The agent templates operate on a reference architecture comprising skills, instructions, and domain knowledge, connectors, governed data access, and subagents, additional Claude models for specific subtasks. They can be adapted by firms to align with their specific risk policies and modeling conventions. Deployment flexibility is key. Templates can function as plugins in Claude Cowork or Claude Code, running locally alongside analysts to generate targeted outputs. Alternatively, as a Claude-managed agent, the templates run autonomously on the cloud platform, featuring enterprise-grade infrastructure, including managed credential vaults and full audit logs for large-scale operations. Beyond specialized agents, Anthropic has enhanced Claude's integration across the Microsoft 365 ecosystem via add-ins. This allows the AI assistant to function as a chief of staff in Outlook for inbox triage and meeting arrangement, build and audit financial models in Excel, draft dynamic presentations in PowerPoint, and edit credit memos in Word. This capability enables complex, multi-step workflows across the entire Office suite, significantly reducing manual errors and accelerating market decision-making. Anthropic is also expanding its data ecosystem. Claude is already connected to major providers like FactSet, S&P Capital IQ, MSCI, and PitchBook, alongside internal data warehouses. New partnerships are being added to provide direct, real-time access to market and research data. Industry leaders are already leveraging this technology. FIS is using Claude to compress AML investigations from days to minutes. Carlyle is utilizing Claude for agentic reasoning in its technology stack, and Citadel is employing it to build and pressure test investment coverage models. This move coincides with a broader industry shift toward AI adoption. A study by the Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance found that 81% of industry players are adopting AI, with 40% reporting advanced adoption. While agentic AI adoption is growing rapidly, with 38% intending to adopt it in the next year and 44% set to use it in 2026, AI is already delivering measurable gains in finance, with strong positive outcomes reported in technology, data, and product functions. Anthropic has reportedly agreed to provide high-level briefings to leading finance ministries and central banks regarding cyber vulnerabilities identified by its generative AI model, Claude Mythos Preview. This development follows a request from Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey, who chairs the Financial Stability Board, citing sources. The Financial Times reported on Monday that Anthropic will address concerns about uneven protection, agreeing to brief select non-U.S. bodies, including the European Commission, as regulators and companies outside the U.S. express concern over current security gaps. The Financial Stability Board, FSB, a G20 watchdog, is preparing a report on sound practices for AI adoption, due next month. Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund has issued a warning that advanced AI models can significantly accelerate the time and cost required to identify and exploit vulnerabilities, creating a natural advantage for attackers as exploitation can outpace patching efforts. The restricted rollout of Mythos, which has been released to approximately 40 organizations including Amazon, Microsoft, CrowdStrike, and JP Morgan Chase & Co., has flagged thousands of high-severity vulnerabilities across major operating systems and web browsers. Barclays plc CEO C.S. Venkatakrishnan described Mythos as a serious issue, warning it could uncover vulnerabilities in financial systems and suggest exploitation methods, speculating on future versions. Competitive pressure in the AI cybersecurity space is intensifying, with OpenAI also entering the arena by launching GPT-5.5, Cyber in a limited preview for defenders. Furthermore, reports indicate that the UK government is actively courting Anthropic with proposals for a London office expansion and potential dual listing. Anthropic is anticipated to go public in 2026. Sales leaders, including Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, have signaled strong confidence, with Benioff planning a $300 million investment in Anthropic's AI for coding, labeling the company a rapidly ascending force. Anthropic is preparing to brief leading finance ministries and central banks regarding cyber flaws identified in its Claude Mythos model. According to the Financial Times, these briefings are occurring as regulators globally assess AI-related vulnerabilities and develop necessary safety guidelines. The disclosures and planned briefings signal an accelerating regulatory focus on the cyber risks posed by large foundation models. Industry observations indicate that these models can introduce novel attack surfaces that interact with existing IT and operational technology stacks. Observed vulnerabilities across the sector include prompt injection-style exploitation, data exfiltration through model outputs, and emergent behaviors that challenge traditional sandboxing methods. This trend highlights that AI-related vulnerabilities introduce a new layer of third-party risk and complexity for regulated operators, even when core infrastructure remains unchanged. The move by a major model vendor to brief finance sector authorities is significant, as it underscores regulatory attention to model-driven cyber risk and could prompt the development of new standards or guidance affecting deployments and audits. Industry observers are closely monitoring future developments, specifically looking for published advisories, vulnerability disclosures, regulator guidance documents, vendor patch notes, and public red team reports concerning Claude Mythos behavior. These indicators are expected to be key in charting the evolution of model security standards.